Welcome to the Phone Arena video review of the Sanyo Zio. The Zio is a mid-range Android device, and the first we've seen from Sanyo. It originally launched on Cricket, branded under Kyocera, with Android 1.6. It's been updated to 2.1 and offers Sprint's ID packs. 2.2 will be coming in the near future, according to Sprint. The Zio is a nice, light, thin Android device. It's got a 3.5-inch display, however, a 480 by 640 resolution, which is much higher than we're used to seeing. As you can see, there's a little bit of lag here, which is our biggest problem. The screen has a lot of drag to it, and in general, it feels unresponsive. There are times when we have to hit buttons 2 and 3 times for it to get it to recognize. It almost feels like a resistive display with how it responds, as opposed to how it's acting. If we take a look at the Samsung Transform next to it, we can see the colors are a bit off as well. The Transform has a much more natural hue on the colors, whereas on the Zio, you can see that the yellow is just a bit off. The build quality on the Zio is quite nice, however. It's very light, due to the all-plastic design, but it doesn't feel cheap. There are some chintzy elements, such as the lighted keys down at the bottom here. As you can see, with the menu and back keys, the backlight is not even. The inclusion of the trackball isn't very useful either, and very last year. We have physical send and end keys, and the end key doubles as a power button. These do offer very nice feedback, and it's easy to tell when we've pressed them. Like the Transform, the Zio supports Sprint ID. We can download ID packs. However, we have run into a few times on the Zio where we can't download things, whether it be from the market or IDs packs. Generally, a restart will fix this, but hopefully this is isolated to our unit or something that a software update will fix quite soon. Beyond that, this is stock Android. With the all touchscreen display and the unresponsiveness of the display, text messaging can be a bit dicey at times. We definitely recommend a download of something like Vlingo or using Google Speech Actions for better text messaging. You'll find the stock Android media player on the Sanyo Zio. It's a very capable player, although it could use a little bit of refinement. Everything worked just fine. We loaded several albums onto it, as usual, and it didn't have any problems playing them. As you can see, it's a little slow to respond to things like that. However, with support for up to 32 gigabytes, it is actually a quite capable iPod replacement. The other thing you'll find stock is the camera. It utilizes the general Android interface, although the unresponsiveness of the screen here can be problematic. Flipping from video to camera isn't too much of a problem, but as you can see, it takes several tries to flip back. The options slide out from the side here. You'll find options such as the color effect and lens shading. The one thing we're quite disappointed in is the macro mode on the Zio. Even from about a foot away, it had problems focusing on issues, and as you can see from our test pictures, it couldn't focus at all and became very blurry. As you can see here, we have our web page loaded on the Sanyo Zio. The Zio uses the stock Android browser, and being Android 2.1, does not have native support for Flash. A web browser like Skyfire will enable this. However, the other thing that's missing is multi-touch. We can't pinch to zoom in or zoom out, which is something we've come to expect on a smartphone. The double tap does work, and it works quite well, so it's something we can overlook. This isn't a premium device, but still, it seems that in this day and age, it should be a very basic feature. Everything did render and load well and relatively quickly. The Zio has enough memory to load pages without any issue, and as you can see, scrolling around is pretty smooth. Again, the display isn't very responsive, which will play a fact in the overall experience here, but for the most part, we have no real issue with the browser other than the lack of multi-touch. Call quality was actually very good on the Zio. Users rated this pretty high, higher than most devices we've rated in the past, especially for a mid-range device. Battery life is also very good. We've had ours off the charger for a day and a half now, and we're still sitting at about 50% battery, with moderate use. One thing that we need to note is that the Zio does not support multi-touch. which is one of the things we've come accustomed to on Android devices. We're not really sure why this is the case, and we're not sure if it's possible to unlock this in future updates, like it was done with the Motorola Droid. However, it's definitely something that's missing. At $100, the Zio is a bit overpriced for us. With the LG Optimus coming out at $50 at the end of the month, we can't imagine the device is going to be much different. Yes, the Zio may have a better resolution on the display, but given the fact that it's not multi-touch and not very responsive, we think we'll hold out.